I'm Mark Fernandez, and this is Franchising with Fernandez. Hi, today's special guest is Danny Stepling, multi-unit franchisee for Subway, based in sunny Florida in the USA. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure. So, Danny, can you tell us a little bit about your history, how many restaurants you've owned through the Subway journey that you've had, and where you're at now?
Sure, absolutely. So, I started in 2015. Me and my brother partnered together, and we had taken over two failing Subways. And we turned those around. Eventually, I ended up buying him out. Opened two more. Bought a fifth. Sold that one. Ended up selling three of those five stores. But in the entire time I've been doing it, I've been the manager. I've either managed or operated 13 total.
Wow, that must have kept you busy.
It definitely did, man. It definitely did. And wanted to pursue other avenues, so I, had to make the responsible decision to step down from those posts just so I could focus on my dreams and aspirations and let those guys run to their best potential.
Sure. And you've got about 4 in your network at the moment?
Yes. Right now I've got 4.
You're busy. All right. We're here to talk about some positive franchising because the last 3, 4, 6 weeks has been a little bit crazy around the world. So
sure.
Danny, can you give us a little bit of an insight as to what you and your team have been through in the last few weeks?
Absolutely, man. Well, I don't think we're any different than anybody else. I think that we're all going through the same thing. It's, it's tough times. There's no way around it. There's been a lot, obviously it's an economic upheaval. I've had more difficult conversations with employees in the past, month than I ever have. And, you're hearing people call and, whether they're crying, panicking, yelling, they're all appropriate conversations, they're all appropriate reactions. But, as their owner, this is an opportunity and a moment for all business owners to step up and be a leader, show your true colors. It's easy to be caring, helpful, and resourceful, when everything's going good. But right now it's all about, hearing out every single employee's problem. Like I said, I have 55 employees, so it's the most pressing issue is finance. And, it's unrealistic, for me to say I can reliably and consistently provide relief for all of them. But I've definitely done what I could to help out, as many as I can, and just keep morale high, and even if it's not financially, there's a multitude of ways you can help your team members. It's just so much as listening. There's a bunch of unique, problems and circumstances, and, just finding out where they want and putting in the time and effort to show them that you care and, try to give them a solution, to get past that problem. It's priceless, and it definitely pays huge dividends.
Wonderful. That's great. And personally, Danny, can I ask you what you and your family have been through? It must be horrendous to deal with the staffing and the leasing and the commercial side of it, but
Sure.
Your family. Yeah. Can you walk us through some of that?
Yeah, of course, man. Like I said, it's tough times. It's right now it's just everyone's kind of hunkering down. We're being told not to consume, and we're not making much money. And it's obviously, it's a little pressing, it's a little worrisome, as everybody can attest to. But the most important part is just, control what you can control. You got to wake up every day and focus on, there's a lot of this stuff that's happening is completely out of our control. We can control our mindset, how we're going to attack the day. What can we do to make sure we're in a better position today, than tomorrow? And embrace the challenges, because it's only going to make you better. And any business owner or family that, can embrace these kind of times and get out still standing, you're going to be bulletproof when you get out of this, because this is as bad as it gets, so you just got to stay positive, watch your expenses, just communicate with each other, and definitely just listen to what people are telling you. Stay safe. Don't go out. We want to get this thing over with as fast as possible and get back to normal life.
Do you have your crystal ball there with you? What does it look like in the next 6 or 9 months?
Well, I think it's, for me, my family, I know we'll be fine. We'll find a way, no matter what happens. It's, adversity is just part of life. These cards have been dealt to everybody, so there's really no time for self-pity. I totally understand. I'm totally compassionate with people who are going through hard times. Don't get me wrong, but, we definitely just want to stay solution-based, and just, again, like you were talking about earlier, be grateful, man, because it could always be worse. And, for that crystal ball, that 6 to 9 months, it's going to be interesting, because when it comes to the business side of things, a lot of these things are going to stick, it's good. I think April and May are going to be very telling, especially here in the States, but I would guess, a lot of these procedures are going to stay around for a very long time. Gloves, for example, for servers in restaurants, they're wearing gloves. And I think sanitation is going to be bigger than it ever was. I think a lot more restaurants are going to be consistently passing health inspections just because cleaning and sanitation is going to be so huge. People are going to be very, very health conscious, just about, no one wants to get sick. And it's going to be interesting, because I think masks just in public aren't going away anytime soon. But I do think that the economy will recover. I think once people are allowed to go back out and the government tells us to, pushes the play button and takes us off pause, if people make it through, which if it doesn't last too long, I think they will, once people start spending money again, we'll start moving in the right direction.
Franchising is always a leader of small business. Do you have any insights to where you think franchising might be going in the next few months, the 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It's one of those things where it's tough to tell because we don't really know where the economy is going. But the one thing about franchising is that it's always looked at as the most safe investment, generally for people starting a new business, just because it's a proven business model. So it's going to be interesting to see because if it'll always be the leader, like you said, in the business community. If it doesn't really start off though, and the economy doesn't take off, I wouldn't see it growing until that happens. But when it does, I think it will, pave the way and definitely take us part in the business industry.
There you go. Great. Now, Danny, franchising in Australia is like the United States. I'm sure everyone's doing it tough. So from a multi-unit franchisee who's been through some really tough times, what would you be able to inspire us, or what could you say to the Australian franchising community right now?
Yeah, I would say, like I was saying earlier, man, it's tough. It really is. I feel for everybody who's been through that. I'm at a point now where in my life where when I first started, I was working 70-hour weeks, 60, 70-hour weeks in the store just to make sure my labor was low so I could, make my payments on the stores. And it's gotten to the point now where, I've kind of removed myself from that situation. But for the people who have 1 or 2 stores, it's definitely tough. And even if you have more than that, with the way sales are, it can be, there's enough uncertainty and overanalyzing and wondering and paranoia about the future where it can make you go crazy, so I think the most important thing is stay positive and take time to, if you're going to sit there and look at all the worst case doomsday scenarios, you also got to go the other side. You also got to look at, the best case scenarios, and figure out, hey, am I playing tricks to myself? Is it going to be that bad? And I know when the account's dwindling, it's easy to do that and to push the red panic button. But like I was saying, you have to really focus and determine what can you control. There's a lot more under your control than what you think. And the only way to really get that base level of certainty to feel confident and just to feel like you can control your life is to control those things. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your employees. Make sure you're taking care of, your finances. Don't spend the money you don't need to spend. Do everything you can to put yourself in a better position And, I can't really stress enough, reach out to your employees daily, ask them how they're doing. People will go to war for you if they see that you really care about them and you're trying to help them. It's not about writing them a check. They understand that you're going through hard times, but, just make that decision, commit to the decision that you're going to find a way through this, and no matter what happens, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be fun, but you're going to get through this. And once you do, nothing else will be able to stop you.
Wonderful, wonderful words, Danny. Danny Stepling, multi-unit franchisee for Subway based in sunny Florida. Danny, thank you for your time, and I wish you and your family all the safe and healthiness over the wonderful Easter weekend. And I hope that you have a great Christmas and New Year.
Awesome. Well, Mark, same to you, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And, hopefully we reconnect sooner than later.
Wonderful. Take care and bye for now.
All right, Mark. Take care, bud.
If you have any positive franchising stories out there, I'd love to hear them. Drop me an email at mark@bda-online.com.au. I'm Mark Fernandez, and this is Franchising with Fernandez.